So we had heard from some of the rangers that saw the Nhlanguleni female a couple days ago that it looked as though she had given birth and she had a bit of a milk pouch. We've spent the last 4 or 5 days continuously driving every route that we could possibly think of in order to try and find her, or at least find tracks of her. And this evening, as it's getting dark, has been the first time I've found tracks. It's heading straight down the road, heading in both directions. That one going there, and then on this side coming back down. We're going to try and see which ones are fresher, and basically but what we're looking for is which track is on top of the other. If we don't have any luck tonight, at least we know exactly where to start. It's most likely going back to a den, having come from a kill, so fingers crossed we get lucky in the next couple of days. So we've come back out very early this morning, and we're just sitting in the place where we presume that she might be denning. And so now it's a bit of a patience game. We're going to listen to hear either her or the cubs making any noise in this area, if they are even here. And as soon as it gets light enough, we'll go back to where we had those last tracks and hope to either see a fresher set of tracks going on top of the ones that we saw yesterday, or at least try and get an idea of exactly where she's gone. So after walking up and down the road, trying to determine exactly which are the fresher tracks, we found a set that are heading straight down towards the Sand River. What we're going to do is walk up and down and see exactly where she's now hopefully keeping the cubs. It's just a highway of tracks now, going in every different direction, which is making our lives pretty challenging.
We got Trev up ahead there, he's looking at tracks that are relatively fresh, so yeah, this is quite exciting. That's the one.
These. It's getting very, very thick now, so by slowing it down it allows us a chance to listen out for her or any danger up ahead, as well as we don't then stumble across her at too close of a proximity. Very exciting that these tracks are looking pretty fresh, so let's hope we manage to find this den. As you can see behind us, it's starting to get very, very thick. It's a narrow channel here, so we've made a decision to actually turn around and leave, because by walking through here, firstly it's pretty dangerous, secondly we don't want to impact her at the den, and thirdly we're not going to be able to get a vehicle in here to view the den if we do manage to find it. So we're going to turn around and start heading back towards the vehicle. After hearing a few lions calling this morning, we've just found one of the Ndzhenga males and 3 Ntsevu females. So here they're just lying down in the shade at the moment. And so this male's about 20 meters away. He's just lying down in the grass here. The 3 females are all together just over that side. So while we're sitting here with these lions, the male's been grooming quite a lot, but we're seeing vultures streaming over above us here. He's had a look up. It's only a matter of time before those females lift their heads and see the vultures, and I'm sure if those vultures start descending behind us, these lions are going to get up and head across there pretty quickly, because that means there's a carcass that side, and the vultures are responding, which means the lions will try and get there as well in order to get a free meal. So that's provided us a bit of clarity. The lions all relaxed, and we looked up and you can see the vultures are all now circling. So what they're doing is flying across in this direction looking for a thermal, and a thermal is basically a pocket of warm air that's rising, and they then use that to help them gain some altitude in order to then fly around looking for any carcasses or anything to feed on. And so with the lions now seeing that, they see their vultures going up rather than coming down, meaning that there's no carcass nearby. And so the males now got up, moved across to where the females are. And they've all settled down there and are all lying completely flat. So I highly doubt too much more is going to be going on this morning. So we're going to start heading back towards camp before it gets too warm. This morning we're elated to tell you that we've just managed to find the Nhlanguleni female's den. We suspected that these boulders were her den. She's used it many times in the past, and we've come and checked in this area and found a lot of tracks, but nothing definitively saying that it was in here. So this morning we've just actually sat here from very early on, hoping to try and hear something, whether it be alarm calls, birds calling, or anything. And whilst we've been here, we've just heard what sounds like little cubs nursing from their mother. It's quite a little feisty growl. Coming from inside there, so it's incredibly exciting. This is where her den is, and although it's quite tricky to see now, what we'll do is just wait around here and see if maybe she moves the cubs somewhere, or hopefully we at least get a little glimpse of the cubs, and then we'll be able to see exactly how many there are. But this is phenomenal news. I'm so excited. We've just come across a herd of elephants that have just walked behind us there, pretty close to the Sand River, so it looks as though they're pretty steady in their movements and direction. So it's quite likely that they're going to go down to the Sand River for a drink. So we've just got down to the river now. The elephants hopefully are going to come through behind us there, and we want to get ourselves onto that bank there because that'll give us an epic view across. They're coming down. Just had a brief view of an elephant walking through the vegetation there. There's the two youngsters that were playing off to the right there, just trying to get in their mother's way. The smaller one's not capable of drinking itself, so he's just in there trying to cause a bit of trouble with mum. with this other one here, spraying itself with sand and just really making the most of the time here. So perfect where they came down. It's nice and open here. We had a phenomenal view of that, and always great just watching elephants drink and the excitement and the play that comes around when they're at water and they're drinking. Having them come down for a drink like that was perfect. So we're going to start heading back towards camp, but what a great morning. So having heard some exciting news from Jess this morning about her finding the Nhlanguleni female with one cub, having moved it from what we thought to be a previous den further that way, heading in this direction, we've come out now to see if we can sit around, get a good view of that cub. When we found the previous den, all we could do was hear some cubs, and it definitely sounded as though there was more than one, so possibly two, maybe even three. And we're unsure as to why she would have moved this cub across here. There is a slim chance that maybe something's happened to one of the other cubs at the previous den, and that's caused it to then move them, or maybe there's a bit too much attention being close to the Sand River, and so she's wanted to now move the cub to a safer den. And so if she does start heading back in that direction, we'll keep our fingers crossed, hold our breath, hold our thumbs, whatever else it is, that she's going to be bringing a second cub back across here, because it's one of a range's sort of most dreamt after sightings of seeing a female leopard carrying a cub to a new den. So with the mother just sitting in there, she's grooming and yawning. Those are some good signs that she's going to get up and start moving. And so if she does move, she's most likely going to go and settle down in the shade, but there's that very slim chance that she might be going back to the previous den and hopefully collecting another cub. And if she does, we'll then try and loop around and follow her, see where she goes. What a phenomenal sighting. As we got back to the previous den, she was there already, and Tristan managed to spot her walking down into the road, so we managed to get ourselves into the perfect position. but what an incredible sighting, and it's amazing that we've managed to see not just one but two cubs in a new den, and that they're both doing pretty well. So let's just hope that she's able to look after them and raise them successfully from here.